Last time on Littoral Obscura, we had a delayed flight to Puerto Princesa City, a late night band through the mountains, and a race against the clock. In this episode, we embrace the Sabang adventure. We journey into the hushed darkness of a new seven wonder, the underground river. We test our limits with the legendary Tamilok, find stillness in the mangrove forest, and take flight across an 800-meter span of the open sea. This is Lakbay Chronicles, Littoral Obscura. Good morning from Sabang Beach in Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. We are currently staying at the Luyon Beach and Mountain Resort. After we finish our breakfast, we'll be heading out to join a tour around the Sabang area. Our journey begins at the hotel doorstep, where a van awaits us to take us into the heart of Sabang. Our itinerary for today is a full loop of the Sabang coastline. Our first stop is the Sabang Boat Terminal, our gateway to the water. From there, we navigate across the bay to the mouth of Puerto Princesa subterranean river. We return to the wharf and head inland to Kakaoyan Restaurant for lunch. Once we've eaten, we push further into Sabang Mangrove Forest. We take the Manlipian Trail on foot, climbing up the ridge to reach the Sabang exit line. Then we took an 800-meter flight back toward the coast, and a short ride back to the resort to close out the tour. And that's the entire tour. Upon arriving at Sabang Boat Terminal, we were greeted by our guide, Ma'am Carol.
Sir Kevin?
Yes po.
So, I'm tour guide Carol po.
Okay po.
So, for your 3-in-1 ang tour package
Yes
nyo,
po.
no?
Pre-recorded?
Yeah,
Okay.
pre-recorded. Dati kasi wala yan. They just implemented it for to lessen the noise pollution inside the cave. For your safety and for your reminders for the underground river tour, always wear your life jacket inside the boat. Ang gagamiting life jacket sa motorized boat, yun din ang gagamitin sa paddle boat. And no swimming,
No.
swimming, swimming is not allowed. And of course, there are wildlife animals at the park, so there are monkeys. So avoid bringing plastic bags or do not show them plastic bags. That's okay, hindi po yan aanuhin ng mamang. So you can have photos with monkeys but with a distance, wag lang masyadong malapit.
Ma'am Carol gave us a quick briefing on what to expect and a stern warning about our safety, as there is a high chance of running into some aggressive local monkeys. While waiting for the other guests to arrive, we scouted the nearby souvenir shops to window shop, planning exactly what to pick up once the tour ends. Sabang Boat Terminal, also known as Sabang Wharf, is the primary gateway to Puerto Princesa Underground River. Our boat is here. In these waters, life vests are a must. It is standard procedure for the trip to the subterranean river. Quick pro tip for the Sabang tour: leave the sneakers behind. Instead, wear slipper or something that is okay to get soaked in water. The ride across the bay takes about 17 minutes. Even as we pull closer to the coastline, the cave remains a mystery. The entrance is completely obscured by the dense wall of trees, hiding the world wonder from the open seas. The tour inside lasts about 45 minutes. So it is best to visit the comfort room or restroom facilities here before we head in. Once ready, we gear up with hard hats. These are vital for low clearance passages. But more importantly, it protects us from the droplings and urine from the bats living in the rafters. Oops. As we make our way down the forest trail, we find ourselves in the middle of a rare standoff. Right there, on the side of the path, a Philippine long-tailed macaque and a massive Palawan water monitor lizard are practically walking alongside each other. The macaques are notorious snatchers, always looking for food or shiny gear, while the monitor lizard is a patient predator. They carry a mild venom that isn't fatal to humans. But seeing them both in the same space is a stark reminder of how wild this area really is. We keep our distance and let them have the right of way. We can see the cave entrance. Before we even board, the boatman distributes digital audio recorders. This allows us to learn about the cave in multiple language without creating noise pollution for the wildlife inside. We then head to the water's edge to board the canoe, the perfect vessels for navigating the narrow river. The boatman will signal exactly when to press play to keep the audio in sync with the rock formations. With the silence in set and the recorders ready, we proceed into the cave. I managed to get a seat at the very front of the boat, the best vantage point for what's to come. As we cross the threshold into the cave, the tropical heat vanishes, a sudden cold breeze hits my skin, and the world turns to dark. In here, there is zero natural light. Our only connection to reality is the boatman's heavy-duty spotlight. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the new 7 wonders of nature, a 24-kilometer labyrinth of limestone, with 8.2 kilometers carved out by the river itself. While the river flows deep into the mountain, only the first 4.3 kilometers are navigatable, and our journey takes us 1.5 kilometers into the heart of the system. No one speaks. The silence is a real, punctuated only by the rhythmic splash of the paddle, and the steady dip of water from the ceiling. This entire landscape is a massive karst mountain range, scalded over millions of years by acidic rainwater dissolving soft limestone. It's a place of ancient history. Fossil evidence embedded in these walls proves that these towering peaks were once submerged beneath the ocean. The spotlight reveals a world of calcium carbonate crystals. Dramatic stalactites and stalagmites reach towards each other in the chambers that feel like natural cathedrals, with ceilings soaring 60 meters high as we move through the highway. The shadow transforms into familiar shapes, fruits, vegetable, and religious icons carved by time. At the furthest point of the tour, the boatman kills the light. We plunge into the twilight zone. The darkness here is absolute, heavy and thick. Combined with the cold, moving air, the atmosphere becomes hauntingly eerie. You realize just how far beneath the earth you truly are. Then, the light returns, breaking the spell. We turn around, leaving the depths behind, and heading back towards the distant glow of the living world.
Pwede kayo mag-picture dyan sa platform ha.
We emerge from the jungle trail, leaving the subterranean world behind, and head back across the bay to Sabang Wharf. We're back at Sabang Wharf, but returning at a low tide means a complete different landscape. The water has receded, changing our disembarkation entirely. Since everyone on their tour is heading on the same lunch spot, we all split up into our respective rides. The other tourists climbed back into the vans that picked them up from the downtown Puerto Princesa this morning. But because our resort is located right here in Sabang Beach, we get a bit of local upgrade, hopping into the back of a K-truck to catch the midday breeze as we make our way inland towards Kakaoyan Restaurant. Kakaoyan serves up a massive spread of classic Filipino comfort food. We're talking caldereta, chicken curry, pakbet, and fresh pako or fiddlehead fern salad. As a local, the buffet hits the spot, but the absolute superstar for me is this seaweed gelatin. It is my very first time trying it as a drink, and it is incredibly refreshing. But we didn't just come here for a standard buffet. We came for a local rite of passage. Right here, they have the legendary Tamilok Challenge. Just look at this piece of food. Those massive freakish holes aren't from termites or age. This entire log was completely munched through by the Tamilok, which is famously known as wood-boring shipworm. Seeing what they do to solid timber definitely makes you question your life choices before trying one. If you take the challenge, you have two options, a fried version or fresh and raw. To get the full, authentic experience, we went with the fresh one. Hopefully I can consume them. Don't let its creepy, work-like appearance fool you. The Tamilok isn't actually a worm at all. It is a shellless saltwater clam, making it a close cousin to oysters and mussels. Deep inside Palawan's mangrove forest, these specialized bivalves use microscopic teeth on their heads to burrow into decaying logs, surviving entirely on wood nutrients. Because they spoil within hours of leaving the wood, locals traditionally eat them alive and raw, kinilaw style, marinated in vinegar, calamansi citrus, and hot chilies. Food bloggers love this challenge because while the texture is intimidating, people say the flavor profile is shockingly delicious, tasting like a fresh, creamy oyster with a unique woody undertone. Sadly, I was unable to consume them fully. The incredibly slimy, gelatinous texture just got the absolute best of me. If I ever attempt this a second time, I am absolutely choosing the fried option instead. With our palates thoroughly tested and lunch officially wrapped up, we hop back into the K-truck and head toward the mangrove forest. This time, our tour mates from downtown are joining us in the back. As we pass right by our resort, the smooth pavement disappears. The road turns rough and rugged, hugging the coastline as we rumble towards our next stop, the Sabang Mangrove Paddle Boat Tour. The Sabang Mangrove Forest isn't just a scenic tour from the underground river. It's a living time capsule. Covering 47 hectares of protected sanctuary, these waters are flanked by towering century-old mangrove trees with massive tangled root systems that look straight off a fantasy film. But this piece was hard-won. For generations, local communities harvested this forest for timber and charcoal. That unsustainable clearing threatened a diverse ecosystem, home to blue crabs burrowing in the mud, large monitor lizards sunning on the river banks, and the striking, mildly venomous mangrove snake resting in the low canopy. Everything changed in 1999, when the area was integrated into the UNESCO Protected National Park. Instead of displacing the community, local woodcutters and fishermen were retrained as certified eco-guides. They formed an association, learning to navigate this water silently, with paddle boats to avoid disturbing the native fauna. Gliding through here, listening to our guide, blend environmental science with local folklore. You'll realize this is a modern success story. The ecosystem is fully restored, allowing us to safely view wildlife in their natural habitat, while the community directly profits by protecting the forest they once harvested. After the serene paddle boat tour, it's time to shift gears. We trek along Madlipiad Beach before tackling a steep, exhausting climb up the ridge to reach our final destination, the Sabang Zip Line. Suspended roughly 150 feet above the sea level, this 800-meter long aerial adventure offers a smooth, scenic glide with 360-degree view of Sabang Beach, the West Philippine Sea, and the dramatic limestone karst mountains. It's known for being a gentle, low-speed ride over the sea. The view is absolutely breathtaking, but I have a terrible time trying to keep myself aligned. I'm spinning around just trying to enjoy the horizon, but the rush paid off. I hit the ground, got the drone into the air just in time, and managed to catch an incredible sweeping view of Carl and Sherlyn traveling down the line. That was an absolute blast. We head back to the mangrove entrance where the K-truck is waiting.
Okay, so guys, tomorrow.
Our tour group splits up one last time, and the others head to their city vans, while the three of us ride back to our hotel. The truck dropped us off right on the beach side of the resort, officially closing out our tour. The beach looks incredibly inviting, and we want nothing more than to dive into the ocean. But a bright red flag is flying high, warning us of the dangerous, heavy currents. No ocean swimming today, so we pivot, we head back to our room to change and spend the rest of the afternoon swimming and eating at the resort's pool bar instead. But I'll save the full hotel preview for our next episode. By 6 p.m., we walk over to the Sabang Boat Terminal to pick up those souvenirs. We window shop earlier, but luck isn't on our side. The shops are already closed for the night. Hungry and empty-handed, we pivot again, heading to the Red Turtle Snack Bar and Restaurant for dinner. We sit down to a comforting dinner of fish sinigang and hot rice, with a cute black puppy keeping us a company, constantly looping around our table, looking for a little attention, and maybe a stray piece of fish. And just when we think the night is winding down, a fire show begins right in front of us. The performer takes center stage in the courtyard between the building and the tables, framed by string of light bulbs hanging from the roof out toward the coconut trees. Watching the brilliant arch of plane spin under the warm, glowy canopy made the entire dinner feel like a private celebration. But the walk back to the Luyon Resort turns out to be the most magical part of the entire night. Far away from the city lights, the sky completely overflowing with stars, more than I have ever seen in my entire life. My video camera couldn't possibly do justice to how breathtaking this looked in person. So I took this long exposure photograph for you instead. Just look at the clear, brilliant view of the heavens. We finally arrived back at the resort, exhausted but incredibly grateful for the wild adventures today gave us. It's time to head inside, wash off the salt water, and get some well-deserved rest. Thank you for watching Lakbay Chronicles, and we'll see you in the preview of the Luyon Beach and Mountain Resort.